Electing a chairperson, please.
Can I nominate Councillor MacDonald, please? Thank you.
I have no record of meeting to agree, do I, Nicola? I have no urgent matters by reason of special circumstance this morning. And are there any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interest or other significant interests from members here?
No.
Okay, and that means I can release Councillor. I can release you. I'm sorry to see you go. I can see that.
Enjoy the sunshine.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, can we just go round and introduce ourselves, please? Start with you, Councillor Wright.
Barbara Murray from Public Health.
Krishna Shankar.
Alexia, I'm the applicant.
Suresh Kanabadi, I'll be representing the applicant. Thank you.
Helen Buddin, Licensing Officer.
Kyle Rogers, Solicitor, Legal Advisor to the panel.
Nicola Couchman, I'm here to keep a record of the meeting.
Councillor Joanne Halcroft-Scott for Luton in Chatham.
And I'm Councillor MacDonald. I'm the chair of the committee today. Welcome. Can I just check you've got all the papers, and you know the running order is in your pack, the running order I'm going to go by today. That's great. Thank you. Can I ask Helen to go through the case for me, please? Thank you very much.
Good morning. On the 22nd of December 2025, we received a new premises licence application for Best Food Centre 15 to 19 New Road, Chatham, Kent. An appendix of the Cumulative Impact Assessment called Chatham High Street can be found at Appendix A of this report. It is attached for information as the premises is located within the designated area. This can be found on pages 11 to 13. This application is for the sale by retail of alcohol as off sales daily between 10 a.m. and 2200 hours. A copy of the application and plan can be found at Appendix B on pages 15 to 30. During the consultation, we received one representation. We received that from the Public Health on the 19th of January relating to two of the licensing objectives, prevention of crime and disorder and the prevention of public nuisance. This can be found at Appendix C on pages 37 to 52. It is for this panel to decide on the appropriate action for this application, taking into account all the evidence brought to your attention, both written and oral, alongside the Licensing Act 2003 and its associated guidance. The panel can decide to A, grant the licence as applied for, B, amend the licence, for example, changing the hours, C, adding or amending conditions, D, refusing the application. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Helen. Are you going over to the applicant to present your case? Is that okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. And the applicant will be handling that. Chair, I think I just want to give a brief background for this application before I pass it on to her, and then I might come back as well, Chair. This particular premises I visited when the applicant called me, and so I looked at the road, new road, the history of it as well. Actually, it's a beautiful history. It's got beautiful history about it. All the buildings are listed buildings, and also this kind of building is also listed building. And so I met the person who was operating as well this particular premises, and it's quite interesting. You know, they have lots of other retailers like restaurants. They supply mainly, and there's a hotel nearby as well. It's got 35 rooms, and just like next door really, and the restaurant, both run by the same landlord operating the premises. And then I had a chat with them as well. So this particular premises, I think they can't continue to rely on that only business. They have to open to the residents as well that much. And then I looked at this location. I've been actually walking around the premises, Chair, For me, the area was really good, when I was walking around. Also, we know it's been designated as it's under cumulative impact assessment. I want to come back to address few other things the public health put forward. But while I do that, Chair, I think my applicant is quite eager. We've done some work preparation in order to address you as well, so I'm going to pass it.
Yes, I think it's very important that I also speak for myself and for my team. So first of all, good morning to the chair and the member of the panel. And also, before I begin, I just want to say this is my first hearing of any sort, so I'm very nervous. So please do be patient with me. And I will try and be as quick as I can. So I would like to begin by acknowledging the concerns raised by public health. I fully recognise that this premise sits within the cumulative impact policy area, and that there are genuine issues in parts of Chatham relating to antisocial behaviour and public nuisance. I don't dismiss those concerns. However, I understand the key question before the panel today is whether this particular premises is likely to add to the cumulative impact and undermine the licensing objectives. So as Suresh said, I took over this store around about October from the previous owner who was running the store as a specialist ethnic grocery store. Since taking over, I've spent time understanding the local area, speaking to my customers, and what I have come to understand is that there is a significant residential population nearby who rely on the store for everyday items. Many customers have asked us to extend the range of products to better serve day-to-day needs. In addition, there are residential developments coming up nearby, and the character of this part of New Road, as Suresh just mentioned, it's a listed building, so is a largely residential rather than a late-night economy. Our intention is to serve those residents with day-to-day convenience shopping in a controlled and responsible manner. This application is for a grocery-led convenience store. The primary focus is for business to provide everyday household shopping. Alcohol will form less than 20% of the floor space and is not the core of the business. The purpose of applying for an alcohol license is simply to allow customers who are already shopping with us for groceries, let's say, for example, we pop down to our corner shop to pick up ingredients for our dinner. And it's just the opportunity for them to purchase a bottle of wine to accompany their meal. We are not targeting street drinkers, and we will not run alcohol-led promotions encouraging volume and impulse drinking behaviour. The premises will be open to the public from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. However, alcohol sales deliberately restricted to 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. only. That was a conscious and proportionate decision. We do not wish to sell alcohol during early morning or later evening periods, which may be more sensitive in terms of potential nuisance or disorder. By restricting alcohol sale within those hours, we have intentionally limited the potential impact of the premises in the context of the wider issues identified in the area. Outside of our licensed alcohol hours, chillers containing alcohol will be screened off with covers, and spirits are behind the counter, so they're inaccessible. Alcohol cannot be accessed or purchased outside permitted hours. I am a personal license holder, of course, and I try and complete refresher courses to make sure that I'm fully compliant with the License Act. My business partner, Priya, is also an experienced personal license holder. My manager, Krishna Shankar, who's present with me today, is also a personal license holder with over 10 years of experience in retail, including working in the area. We have appointed an experienced team who are appropriately trained and formally authorised to sell alcohol in accordance with the licence condition. Priya resides locally in Medway, as does Krishna Shankar. This is not an external or remote investment. It is part of our local lives. We have a personal interest in the well-being of the area. Any issues in the surrounding streets affect not only our business, but also our local families and our daily lives. We are not operating this as a passive or absentee venture. We are directly involved in the day-to-day running of the store and take responsibilities very, very seriously. Our focus is on building a strong, community-based convenience store, serving the residential population around New Road and providing a reliable and well-managed local shopping experience. We aim to know our regular customers personally and understand the needs of the local households we serve. That approach naturally promotes accountability and responsible operation. I would also note that no member of the general public have made representation objecting to this application. The operating schedule submitted with the application is detailed and robust. It has been deliberately structured to promote the prevention of crime and disorder. From my previous experience working in a store in the area, I learned that the compliance is not just about logging refusals, it is about active communications within the team. If a customer repeatedly attempts to purchase single cans, or if young people attempt to purchase alcohol without ID, we make the wider team aware of that so that the staff remain vigilant. Where necessary, we review CCTV to understand patterns of behaviour and ensure staff are familiar with individuals who have previously attempted to breach licensing rules. This ensures consistency in refusal decisions and strengthens our ability to prevent underage sales and repeat problematic behaviour. We are confident in refusing service where appropriate, and will not hesitate to refuse sales to individuals who appear intoxicated or whose behaviour raises concern. Responsible retail sometimes requires difficult decisions, and we are prepared to make them. In relation to the prevention of public nuisance, I accept that parts of the wider area experience litter and disturbance. After receiving the photographs from Public Health, we took the concerns very seriously and visited the surrounding area streets ourselves, including Clover Street, which is close to the premises. We have personally spent time clearing litter in the vicinity to better understand the nature of the issue. I'm not suggesting that, we cleared it, litter disappeared, there was nothing when we returned 2.5 weeks later. Wider area challenges remain, but what we observed reinforces that it reinforces the importance of product control. A number of discarded items were high-strength single cans. Our operating schedule deliberately removes that risk by prohibiting single cans sales and limiting products above 6%. While we cannot control behaviour across the whole area, we can control what we sell. By removing high-strength and single-can convenience purchases, we reduce the likelihood of contributing to the type of immediate consumption that often leads to street litter. In addition, we are willing to take responsibility for our immediate frontage and regular checks to maintain the area around the premises. Having addressed the operating controls, I just want to explain a bit about the ethos behind how we operate. We pride ourselves on customer service and putting the community first. We aim to stock quality products and work with local suppliers wherever possible, ensuring that we provide the best service and experience to those who rely on us for everyday shopping. Our model is not built around high-volume alcohol sales or discounted convenience alcohol. It is built around regular customers completing the grocery shop in a welcoming and well-managed environment. We make an effort to know our regular customers personally and greet them by name wherever possible. That builds rapport and mutual respect. When customers feel recognized and valued, they are more invested in the business and in maintaining a positive environment around it. From experience, I've actually seen how communication can positively influence behavior. I have had instances where young people, open a bar of chocolate, drops it on the floor in front of the shop. But just letting them know that that actually affects my business, it affects the community that they work around. We can see that next time they will actually put it in their pocket because I've spoken to them about it. And so wherever we can, we benefit by using a community-focused approach. So, for example, although not legally required, we took the conscious decision not to sell energy drinks to under 16s because we believe responsible retailing means going beyond the minimum legal requirement. That reflects our mindset. We operate with conscience, not just compliance. I fully understand that in a cumulative impact area, the burden is on us to demonstrate that this premise will not add to the existing issues. I respectfully submit that the structured management arrangements, the experienced and appropriately trained team already in place, the proportionate alcohol hours, and the layered operating controls demonstrate that this premise will promote the licensing objective and not undermine them. We are invested, we are accountable, and we are part of this community. So for those reasons, I respectfully ask the panel to consider the individual merits of this application and grant the licence subject to the conditions offered. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And there was no nerves there at all, so.
Oh,
well done.
I am
Thank you very much.
shaking. Just-
Thank you. Anything
Chair.
else you'd like to add?
Yeah, Chair, thank you, Chair. I think I just wanted to look at some evidence that's on the page number 50, Chair. We actually walked to the railway street to, one of the things I noticed all the pictures that's supplied by the health authority. You can see from the pictures these are very, very old, and actually on railway street we were looking at, so we submitted some photos, Chair. I think there's a purpose behind the evidence we submitted. So
Can I just check with you, just to make sure you've seen on the pack, if the date is on the top of when these pictures were taken?
14th of January, yeah.
Yeah, so when you say very old, it was in January this year.
Oh, excuse me, Chair. I think what I mean by that.
2026
No,
is.
no,
It wasn't.
excuse
It
me.
wasn't
I
just
was just
about.
correcting
yeah,
the-
yeah. No,
yeah,
no. We
making sure.
completely agree. It wasn't just about like when. No, we didn't mention what about when the pictures were taken. It was more the discarded items was like they were there for a long time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what.
Sorry,
that's
Chair. I
what
think
we
I
mean,
was I was going to clarify. Excuse me. I think I just yeah. So the discarded item has been there very, very long times. So we can see that. So we couldn't see on anything on the railway street. Actually, we were looking, and then we took some pictures, Chair, to say that. And the railway street, when we went there, we supplied some pictures. I think you can see one of the pictures in the bottom left. There is a litter there, but actually that is in a private property. So we noticed some beer cans there as well. And then going back to James Street, Chair, I think the railway street also quite far away from this particular premises because there's a HSO garage you have to pass through, which has a 24-hour license. And then we coming the James Street also, you can see from the pictures, these are very, very old litter, similar. And then going back to Clover Street, I think we couldn't find those actually. We were looking. I think this must be on a private places because it's not very clear. And then went to Paddocks and Clover Street, and then towards the end of the street, we found there's an open space there with some plants and things like that. And then what we did, we cleared all those litter. And then after a while, then we visited again. And then we supplied some pixel, Chair, to show that the litter has been thrown. There was one kind of Jack Daniels, I think the cocktail was there. But other than that, all the other litters are like coffee cups and things like that, discarded coffee cups. The way we see that place, Chair, I think when people buying and probably instead of buying a can of Coke, probably we are thinking like that, and they buy a single can of beer, and then they been drinking on the street, and they just discard it there because there's no bins like that. So right now, the applicant, really mentioned that, we will be cleaning. They will be often visit that place, and they will make sure, that we clean, not just the alcohol, all the other litter as well. So that's the important point. I think if you could look at the picture, Chair, I think it's important on page number 51. The first picture it looks like it's a private property one, isn't it? I think we couldn't even access to it. And all the other pictures, these are, you can see the litter is very old. Also, it's been taken on the 14th of January, but now we have cleaned that, Chair. And the other thing I would like to Chair about the data that's been supplied, Chair. So I'm going to leave it to you, Chair, how much weight you're going to put for that. And also we were looking at the data. I think it's a generic data, nothing specific, Chair. But on the other hand, so if you look at the data provided, so on page number 38, so that data actually 2020, is very old. And then even the deprivation data is very old as well. It's going back 2019. And then we were looking at the data supplied on the 40, Chair, and the ward profiles. but you can see, I mean, it's not very clear whether, how much is alcohol related, but when you look at actual data, the crime rate for 1,000 residents over a times, it seems for me, the way the data show is constant, it's not like increasing. So it's a 1 year data going up to July last year, 2015. So that's, I wanted to point out that there also. And yeah, and that's all I wanted to say, and then I'll come back to you when the conclusion of it. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Barbara, would you like to ask some questions?
Hi. Don't look so nervous, it's fine. So the measures you've outlined are very comprehensive, and I appreciated that. However, how do you feel that these are over and above measures that would normally be expected from a well-run premises? The committee, for example, would expect any premises to train their staff. So what measures do you feel are over and above those that would normally be expected?
Yeah. Just wanted to say that, of course, like you said, any convenience store, any premise licenses are required to have training in place. But we obviously have an experience. It's not just one member of the team that has a personal license. We are 3 of us that hold personal license, and we hold an extensive of experience between us as well. And I personally think that, someone can come in, I can write on the refusal book, close it, put it aside, and just be done with it, which sometimes where I've worked, I've seen that. But we needs to be that we need to communicate it within our team. And that's what we do. If someone comes in through the door and, persistently doesn't have an ID and asks for something, we communicate that within the team, and we make sure that we go to refresher courses. So the courses where we've applied for our personal licenses, they give us the opportunity to come back for refresher courses as well. And I think that's really important, not just we've done it, we've closed the book, I've got my license now and it's finished. No, it's putting these things in place, making sure that we are aware, and anybody that we employ as well will make sure that they have the training, the necessary training, they know the licensing objectives. And if there's, let's say, a problem arises, we go through the CCTV, we look at how the situation was handled, if it was the right way, how it can be improved. And those are the type of things that we would put in place. And that's how we will manage the training and make sure that we are compliant with what we need to do. And like I said, it's not just ticking a box, it's actually the livelihood, the safety of our staff, as well as our customers and the community that we belong to as well.
And also, if I on the supplementary agenda number 2, Chair, I think there's a plan that was not added earlier. So that's also exceptional in the sense that we have the self-service of alcohol is very limited compared to, I think when we say exceptional, it's a very subjective matter, but compared to any other premises in the area, so the plan itself is exceptional. And also the building itself actually very exceptional as well, because if you look at the building, it's not really a high street kind of building. It's very classical looking. It's a listed building. It's not highly visible as well. So they have, when you walk past, you can really see there's a little bit inside. And also, so in terms of, the work we committed to do, like cleanings and things like that as well. But also when we come to product, so the conditions we offered, I think we've been walking around looking at other premises in that area. Even the closest one is a 6-7 minutes walk, and they sell high strength beers, and you're shaking your head. Oh, no, I think, excuse me. Yeah, I know, I'll come to that. But what I mean by that's another off license similar to ours. Petrol station, a little bit different to off license. But when we visited there, together, I think we've seen they're selling high-strength beers and single cans and the miniatures, and which we are not selling. And the SO, we already mentioned that, Chair. So saying that, the number of product we are selling is really different. We are not selling those. We are kind of leaving those product out. Yeah, thank you, Chair. Please.
So you've offered 6% ABV, nothing. So rather than telling me or telling the committee what products that excludes, can you tell me what products that includes, please? What products are you going to be able to sell?
So any high strength beers, one of the thing, I'm gonna say. So the normal product, I know what you are leading at, because some of the beers you said Stella and Foster's are there as well, which are lower strength beers. But again, they are single cans, not, we never seen anything, even in your picture, there's no 2 cans of same. So we are not, that's one of the reasons we are not selling them. But coming back to that, all the high strength beers, like Kestrel Super, Special Brew, and K ciders and all those ciders, which the street ringers are interested in. And not only that, when you look at the main problem you have mentioned, or in the reports is mentioned, deprivation, because people have no money, they are begging, and they can actually be able to buy 1 can of beer, and also they want to buy high strength beers, which actually contribute to the domestic abuse as well, if you think about the high strength beers. But other than the littering, that which you are concerned about, so the domestic abuse, all those antisocial behaviors, and all those are mostly, from my experience as well, reports, the high strength beers also contribute to that.
I'll just go back to the question that Barbara's asked you.
Yeah.
Barbara, do you want to repeat the question again, please?
Can you tell me what products 6%, a ceiling of 6% ABV would enable you to sell?
Yeah, I think all the other product like Stella, Foster's, and so many other product, we could list so many beers, which that, right, normal beers, right? We can't list all of it. So generally, Stella, Foster's, and what other products? All the other
Just
beers.
to reiterate as well, like we know that selling those kind of single cans is when it causes problematic to the public or to nuisance. So avoiding that, although we are capping it at 6% to be able to offer something to our customers, but to capping it, the K ciders are the cheaper versions. The high strength ones are cheaper in price as well, and those are the ones that most of the problematic people, shall we say, or people that tend to cause nuisance or litter, those are the mostly type of cans that we find on the road on your pictures as well. Yes, like you said on your report as well, I do understand Stella or 1664, is it? Those type of things are there as well, but we are limiting the purchases to those type of people by not selling single cans.
Okay.
Thank you. How long does it take to walk to the high street from your premises, from your shop?
7 to 8 minutes, I think. Oh, what? 7 minutes?
I'd say it's neither 3 to 4. It's just straight down Clovis Street.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was about 5, like between the ranges of 5 to 7 minutes, because there's a few streets that you cross as well,
Okay.
right?
We
Yes.
agree on about 5. So it's not that far away then.
Yeah. It is still a distance. When you want convenience, you want something, closer to you. So
Your hours, you've offered 10 until 10. Do you accept that street drinking happens along the high street and in that general area during the daytime?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think we accept that, and there are so many other premises selling alcohol. There's no need for those street ringers to come to these premises. So like, she said, we are actually looking at the local residents and the local businesses like hotels, nearby restaurants, who are our main customers, and the local residents. And there is no reason for them to come to our premises. But again, what we are doing, we are addressing those street ringing through our measures we have already mentioned. Thank you.
How can you ensure that someone who buys a 4-pack of Stella, for instance, from your shop, does not walk down to the high street and start drinking it in public and cause antisocial behaviour?
Like we walk together on the street, and we actually, it is easy to identify those people. It's not really hard to identify those people who drinks on the street. You look at them and you can see them. It's a very easy, right? So you could actually, one of the things he said in her management role, they will be limiting, they will be refusing them. And that is kind of a structure, the management structure they have. They will refuse to those people, because as soon as we identify, when we walk around that high street together as well, and then we see,
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't realise your price tag, sorry.
yeah, and then we notice, there are two couples with that kind of beer, and we will refuse those. I mean, it's not really hard to refuse those people, and we can refuse those people. But also, on the other hand, local residents here, the residents in that area, they wouldn't be welcoming those people as well. Anything like that happened, they're more likely to make any complaints. We know that because now since they open, they've been kind of started visiting, asking them to sell so many other products as well, which were not available previously. So it is possible.
Just one last question. How close is the probation office to your premises? How close is the probation office to your premises?
How long is it?
About 2 minutes, 1 minute walk, very close proximity. With the last stop, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the probation office there. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we get that. Yeah.
Members?
Thank you, applicant. I like the way you were passionate about your presentation. I'm a little bit concerned with your representative when he said other off licences similar to us. Now, obviously, in a community impact area, and I'd like you to look at, please, if you would, page 43, which is Annex 1. Now, with your close proximity to the probation office, these are the things that are alcohol related, and alcohol is an addiction. And when you talk about the crime, these are the most up-to-date figures. And also, when we're looking at the pictures, we haven't seen your pictures, but ours are dated. And there is no way on page 51 that a double yellow line is on private property, as you suggested, Representative, when you made your statement. Now, obviously, what we're worried about is crime and disorder, public safety, nuisance, and protection of our children and our community from harm. Now, I would suggest that you are knowingly in a community, a SIP, a licence impact area, but you are not giving me evidence to suggest that you are offering any new unique selling point than what is already there, and to refer to you as an off licence doesn't allay my fears, it alarms me more. So my question is why do you think as a council we have a community impact policy, and why do you think we shouldn't adhere to it when we've got the statistics from page 37 to 52 showing crime and disorder and the knock-on effect that we have. And the page that I asked you to look at was page 43, which, you know, sexual violence and assault, harassment, domestic abuse, noise, littering, public nuisance, urination, harm of children, including assault. Thank you.
I just want to, just on one thing, sorry if I'm disturbing and it's not my place to speak, but I don't agree with us being referred to as an off-license as well. We are a community store, we are a convenient-led store, and the alcohol license is an added offer to our customers to provide convenience at this stage. You know, like I said, you know, you can come to your corner shop, you can grab pasta, you can buy pasta sauce, you might want to add like a bit of wine to it, you know, have a drink with your meal. The residential is what we are focusing on, and especially when we provide a community-based store as well, our regular customers come and they look after us as a business, look after us as owners as well. They invested in our business, and sometimes they themselves come, look out for that guy because, you know, he's a bit problematic. And we, by building the relationship with our customers, some things that we might not be aware of that happens 2 streets down, our regular customers will come and they will tell us, they will let us know who those problematic people. I won't be able to know who all the street drinkers are, but building that rapport within my community will give me the knowledge that I need to keep my customers, my staff, and my community safe. Like I said, my business partner, Krishna Shankar, they reside in Medway. We're not like outsiders. We're not coming here opening a business as just like an investment. We are invested in the community as well, and we are prepared to work with the authorities to make sure that our premise is different to others and is a community-led store to be able to, you know, give convenience to our customers that shop with us.
And just wanted to, I think since you raised that concern, wanted to clarify about the pictures. I didn't say all these pictures are private properties, and some of them are. Like I pointed out on Paddocks and Glover Street, the first picture.
Sorry, my
On the 51.
51.
Yeah, on 51. On page number 51, the Paddock and Glover Street one, the first picture, we were actually looking to find that, but actually couldn't. But then I think he found that somewhere in private properties. Yes. Yes, please. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. And the other thing, I know the word I said is the off licenses. What I mean by it's a convenience store. But again, you know, the way the other convenience store, we are different from other convenience store. I think you can see that from the plan as well, the way we planned that out. So have less access to the, yeah, that's right. So even that wine behind the shelf, we have people have limited access to the self-service. So even people are not able to steal them as well. The fridge has a door, you know, we will anytime we'll be able to lock them out. So I think looking at the whole space, what we provided to the alcohol is very limited compared to the whole store. I think the store is focusing, you know, it's got butcher shop, all the other grocery items, and also, you know, the front have a larger space as well. So it's so many things actually is make it an acceptable, you know, for this application. Thank you.
One more question, if I may. On your key, you've got A to G. You've got something labelled with a door near number 2, which says H. What's
Sorry,
that,
that's
please?
my mistake. That H is just an office space that we would use, yes.
Thank you, I just wondered.
In your evidence and presentation, you've indicated that that both of you are have been trained in this particular field. But tell me, have you had practical experience where either or both of you have had to refuse the sale of alcohol to any individual?
I have. And we have experience working. I've experienced working in convenience stores. Refusing someone alcohol, it's a big step, and when you do it, you have to do it with confidence, not like sluttering the words or make it seems like, oh, maybe I can give it to you. Or from the get-go, you need to say, it seems like especially underage drinkers. You ask for the ID, they don't have the ID, you say, I'm not serving you, straight off the go confidently. When we then say, maybe do you have anything that seems like sort of an ID? If they say no, you should just, I feel like we should just leave it, and that's what we tell our team as well. Don't encourage them to find something else to give to you. I've had incidents where whenever someone walks through my shop, I always say, hello, how are you today? From that set of me making that first communication with them, first lets them know that I know they're there. And then when they start talking to me, I kind of understand what kind of mindset they're in. Yeah, they could put in our front, of course. I won't be able to judge everyone that walks through the door, but sometimes they will then say something that will make me think, oh, maybe they have had too much to drink. Or so I say, unfortunately today we can't sell you this, and that's how I'll diffuse the situation rather than go into a problematic argument or so on with the customer.
Thank you.
Oh,
I did. So it's so many events. We more focus on rather than refusing. It's a not further escalating the issue. So nice communication wise, we politely refusing, and keep the situation under control. We avoid things get further escalated. So
you
yeah.
also have an experience working in Chatham.
Yeah, I do. I knew people around the Chatham and Gillingham area, and personally, and how do I identify the street drinkers and underage, and I do have an experience there.
Did I understand from what was being said by your legal advisor as well that you have experience here in the Medway towns? Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, I do work in Gillingham. There's a shop. I don't know. Can I say the name? Yeah, I did work in one of the convenience store in Gillingham High Street. So to understand, how things works around, and I got a pretty good understanding about the local. And I worked in Tesco for over 8 years. I started as a customer assistant, and promoted from customer assistant to team manager. So so I had my experience and the training, and world training in Tesco also.
Thank you, but I think you've you skirted all the way around my particular question, and that is the experience that you've had with refusing to sell alcohol to anybody that you felt.
Yes, yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. So
not just you, but both of you. I'm going to come back to you in a moment,
Okay.
actually. But yeah, no. In your case, tell me.
yes, I did. Refused to underage people and drunk people. I did refuse, but nothing I have escalated, and nothing go, violently or anything. It's most 100% of them went out in a nice way, and I kept under control everything.
It gave me a bit of time to think of an example while he was talking. So, I've had I've had a customer before where I made the initial contact with them, and as the conversation kind of progressed, he said he's going to be having a drink while he drives home, and I said to him, you've just told me that you're going to break the law when I sell you the alcohol. So in this instance, I'm not going to sell you the alcohol, and you go home, buy a drink from your local shop, not buy from me, and then drink while you drive. So the conversation and, making that effort to speak to the customer, not just they put something on the till, I scan it, take the money, and then they're on their way. Just having a conversation with them made me realize that actually, no, this is something that, I shouldn't be giving him a drink because, he's going to do something. He's going to walk out of my shop. He's going to open that drink and drink it while he drives home. So in that sense, I did refuse it to him. He didn't take it very well, but I explained the situation to him and I said, you can wait half an hour. And he did walk away. He never came back, but yeah, he did walk away from the shop.
What
So.
about your experience working in Chatham,
Yeah.
in a cumulative impact area you worked in? No?
Yeah, so it's just more,
refusing to see
yeah,
people
so
on the road.
we see a lot of people come in and when we say, if we feel like they're already drunk, we do speak to them and we say, come back tomorrow, when you haven't had a drink and, we will sell you something. But right in this instance, we try and diffuse the situation by calmly, not getting angry, calmly speaking to them in a good manner and the tone and so on as well. So those are the experiences we hold.
So for me, it isn't the first time your representative's been in here, so he's going to hear me say this again. I'm going to ask you exactly what Councillor Elcroft said to you. Why do you think we have to sit? Why do you think we have the sit policy in place? Or your representative? I can ask either one of you who's going to tell me why we have it.
I think actually it's important we have these, especially in cumulative impact areas like this, because you don't want to grant a license to anyone. And sitting here, you get to know me as a person. I'm becoming part of your community. I'm a store owner. Tomorrow you need to be able to think and say, Alexia, you said to us all of this, but, we granted you the license. Are you keeping up with it? You want to know who I am. You want to know that I'm not going to be one of those people that adds to the problem, but my premise is actually going to be different. And that's the reason why we're sitting here today. And I felt the importance of making an opening statement rather than my representative making an opening statement, because it's my business and it's my team. And I wanted to come across and tell you who I am rather than say, this is another convenience store, please give me a premise license in the area. And I don't, we raise our families in the area, we're part of the community. I always think that I look after my customers. It's not just I take the money and then that's put it in the till and that's it. Building that rapport. And we strongly believe in stocking local produce, local products, working with local suppliers as well.
I think. Can I come back? I think. That's all great. I think the SIP is more than you. So let me ask your representative. You tell me about the community because you focused on litter.
Absolutely.
And litter isn't the focus of the only focus of a SIP.
Of course.
So if you tell me why you feel we have the SIP in place and why we have it as a standard in this area, you tell me why you think it's important.
Yeah. Why we think it's very important. I think the area is, when you look at the data where they sold, it's a deprivation is very high compared to other in UK, and antisocial behavior is also high, and alcohol-related incidences are also high, and street littering also become part of it. So so you have that policy, so it's been designated because it's very important to address that, to promote, especially promote the 4 licensing objectives. So now, having that cumulative impact assessment, is an opportunity here today to able to assess it, because otherwise you wouldn't be assessing these applications. And then when we come to assess it, so all those concerns in that area is domestic abuse and antisocial behavior, littering, and then we are here today to demonstrate that we not going to add to any problem that is exist. I think on the data also, over the years it's been like constant in terms of the local ward as well. In a way, the way I see that is possibly having a cumulative impacts assessment helps that. Otherwise, it could go up like that. So at the moment, What we are saying, we will keep it constant also. Probably it will come down. But right now, that's one of the reason, in terms of the management also, and also other steps that we are taking. And also we've been working around that. Actually, I was working more in the last 2 years doing many other applications. But the littering is one of them. We don't want that. Personally also, I don't like that. We just clean up together actually. We will continue to clear that up. And, I think this particular property is operating is a huge contribution to the economy. That's for sure.
Okay, so let me go back to the SIP again. Thank you for that. Let me go back to the SIP. Let me just make it clear in the pack.
Yeah.
You say the crime. I mean, the crime's high.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not decreasing. Okay, so it may be static and it can go up in peaks and troughs, but it's not necessarily decreasing. Unfortunately, the police are not here today. It's an unfortunate aspect, and I will say it again. I'll say it in every hearing. I will be taking that up because they should be in every SIP hearing. But let me just go back to the SIP and what we ask of you, and what we ask of in a SIP area is that we look at how you're going to go exceptional, how you're going to operate exceptionally to be able to stop any impact of that SIP or for us to be confident. It's the exceptional part that we look for about how you're going above and beyond. It's not always just the nice shop, the nice fabric, the nice building. We look at premises locally, we look at the high street, everything we look at in a SIP area. It's really, this, it's really important to us. So you haven't really addressed that to us at this minute in time, I don't think, about what exceptional measures you're going to do to be able to reassure us that we should license you in a SIP.
Thank you, Chair. I think just coming back to the police. So before I put this application, I did prepare a business plan, which is actually included in these applications on page number 31. And I did speak to the police as well on this matter. And then I explained to them about this business and where we are operating. And I show them the plan as well, that how we're going to, the whole plan. The building is explained to them. This is more larger premises than the another off licenses in that area. And they've been operating without alcohol, and the way they have the customers are also totally different. And also coming back to the SIP again, Chair, why we are exceptional, like I said, it's a very subjective matter, but also we have to compare other premises because, there's a 24-hour license nearby, and when we have a reduction in hours, it's also make it an exceptional case. And the other thing is make it exceptional, the plan of the premises, where we have a the percentage of alcohol, it will be, I think, looking at it, it's less than 20% of the whole space. So we also have, there is no self-service. I'm going to repeat what I said. All those things make it special, exceptional. And also the management is also important. When you consider exceptional, who is running the premises. And these two people, they are living in that area, and also I know them, they've been working in Chatham in that shop in a cumulative impact area. So they have been refusing in that shop. It's been well managed as well. So they've been part of the staff there. And also, Chair, I think it's important. So the pictures, I'm going to come back to that, so we are really committed to keep the area clean. That's also make it exceptional. Our commitment to do that.
I don't really want to focus on the pictures again. You've mentioned, you've made your point about the littering. That can change every single day. It's about the licensing and operating within a SIP area, and recognising about you recognising the major issues that are local there and why we have a SIP. I've asked you this many times before. Why we have a SIP. And that clarity around why we have a SIP is really important. Can I just ask you, the applicant yourself, if you're not granted the licence for alcohol, what happens to your shop?
We are running as an ethnic grocery store and trying to add to the customers. But we, the reason why we're asking for the alcohol license is to be convenient to our customers. When you go down to your local shop, you don't want to buy your pasta and your sauces and everything, and then go somewhere else for like a additional ingredient in like a wine, or even to pair that for your meal. So we're giving the grocery aspect to our customers, but we want to be able to give them, like the convenience of coming to our store and being able to shop. And I know you said that, you haven't heard us say why we're exceptional, but I think for me, it's being deeply rooted into the community is what will make me exceptional, knowing my customers, building rapport with my customers. And I think that's what you might think, oh, she's just saying this, but we strongly believe in that. And that's the reason why we've chosen a team that's got the experience and that will put customer needs and community needs first.
Can I just say, it was no aspersion on you as an individual. It's about, you really do need to know what SIP stands for, because that still isn't coming across from your representative. Barbara, over to you.
So I'll keep this reasonably brief. The Director of Public Health is making representations under the Prevention of Crime and Disorder and Public Nuisance licensing objectives. As has been pointed out, the premises is located within the Chatham High Street SIP area, which covers not only the High Street, but the surrounding areas as well, including the road where the applicant's premises is. And there is strong evidence of high levels of alcohol-related crime, disorder and public nuisance associated with a density of off-licence premises in this area. And while I understand the applicant doesn't want to call herself an off-licence, obviously that is what she's applying for, so it is relevant in this case. I'd also like to remind the committee, and the applicant has also raised this, that the area has many residents. This is a residential area. With many of the premises here are houses of multiple occupation, so there are a lot of people. This premises is also almost next door to the probation office as well, which I think is very relevant in this case. The evidence under crime and disorder used to support the CIA, which is the cumulative impact assessment, was of alcohol-related crime, disorder and nuisance, and was supplied by both Kent Police and Public Health. On page 40 of the agenda, the Council Business Intelligence Team has produced ward profiles, which I have screenshotted. And this shows that Chatham Central and Brompton Ward has the highest rate of crime and antisocial cases per 1,000 residents in Medway, and Fort Pitt Ward has the third highest, and this is relevant because the SIP straddles both wards, or part of both wards. The rationale behind why I've included these figures is fully explained in the annex, so I won't go into it here. However, in short, the highest types of crime in both wards, as I've said, are violent crime and antisocial behaviour, and both of these are associated with alcohol consumption. And the concern about these types of crime is current, as in shown by the additional evidence that has been submitted and is included at page 44 onwards. Crimes of violence and sexual offences and antisocial behaviour are the highest types of crime in and around the High Street and the surrounding area and where the premises is located. In addition, the Chatham Public Spaces Protection Order, or PSPO, has been introduced in part due to issues with alcohol-related antisocial behaviour, and this covers the majority of the Chatham SIP area, including New Road, and a map can be found on page 41. So going on to public nuisance, there is a general problem in the area with street drinking and antisocial behaviour and the associated litter, with discarded cans and bottles, broken glass and evidence of public urination and defecation in various alleyways and public areas. And this has been a particular concern over the last year. 2025 was particularly bad, with private security having to be employed to walk along Chatham High Street to provide reassurance to the public because of the antisocial behaviour that was taking place. And I believe they're currently still being employed as well. And I have walked around the area generally in response to this application, and I also do it more generally throughout the year in support of the evidence gathering for the SIP and the licence applications. And I see alcohol litter throughout the high street and surrounding area, and I've concentrated on the area in the immediate vicinity of the premises, but I have photographs and can provide evidence for the whole of the SIP area. And while the litter in and of itself, and I'm addressing a point you raised, is a nuisance, I also take it because it's a symptom as well of a wider problem of street and public drinking. People are not drinking in their homes and bringing the cans and bottles out and dumping them at the side of the road. They are walking along the road and drinking and then discarding the cans and bottles. And everywhere I have highlighted with the evidence is at most within a 5-minute walk of the premises. Most of it is actually just round the corner. And the high street itself, I can do it in about 3 minutes. I know I walk fast, but so we are talking no more than 5 minutes to the high street and back again. So this premises is easily accessible from the high street area. And many products shown in the photographs are not high-strength beer or cider. As has been pointed out, there's Stella Artois, Budweiser, Tyskie, Strongbow, all of which would fall below the 6% and be available from this premises if the applicant decided to sell them. And I would like to say the litter and public drinking is also prevalent further afield and is just not confined to this defined area. To address Councillor Howcroft-Scott's points, I take my photographs from public. I never go onto a private area. I take it from the public footpath or car parks. I can go through each one if you want me to, but I can assure you none of them are private areas, as in I have not walked onto a private area. And I also very deliberately do not take photographs of litter which is very obviously old. The cans are all, they're all shiny, they're not covered in rust. So if it's a bottle, it's still got the labels on, it hasn't worn off. And I very deliberately do that. I don't take photographs of very old because it's pointless, because that really doesn't support my case at all. So those photographs were all taken from public areas, and they are all of, I can't say brand new because I don't know when they were discarded, but they're not old. Thank you.
Would you like to ask Barbara some questions?
And in your pictures, I'm going to go back to that, right? So on the 1.3, the first picture, page 51, excuse me. Yeah, page 51. That first one, so you can see from the pictures, it's been accumulated over time. And we couldn't locate that place. Actually, we've been walking around that street and we couldn't find that place. But all the other ones we located and we cleaned them up. But even then, you know, the cans, you know, there, the plant grown over it. So it seems like, you know, it's been there for a while. And some of the ones that we picked up, not all of them, you know, they are very, very old. That's one of the recent mentions. But I wanted to know about the first picture. Where was that? You know, I'm sure it's definitely been accumulated for a long time. So what's your comment on that, actually?
They were taken at James Street. That would have been at the bottom I'm referring to sort of the flow of the photographs.
Yeah.
That is the road next to the post office. Yeah. At the bottom of there, where the post office is, there is it's a dead end. So there's just an accumulation of litter. That's where that was taken.
Okay, the one on the Paddock Street, I mean, is still, we're going to walk around with you at some point to find those places. And yeah, that's it, Chair. I think I don't have much question. Thank you.
No other questions? Anything first, Barbara?
No, she's answered.
No, anything? No, so break.
Sorry.
It's for Barbara. We're not doing we've done the
Oh, sorry. I beg your
That's okay.
Barbara. Yeah, sorry, Barbara. The area around the new road, there are in fact at least 3 nightclub areas.
There's a Tap and Tin.
Yep.
I don't know. That's down on the high street, isn't it? Oh, sorry, that's further up along New Road, isn't it? Yes, yes. The nightclubs are not my. I'm not on top of where all the nightclubs are. I'm afraid, Chair.
I'm disappointed in that.
Well, we've established that. Thank you. But no, my question, in fact, was really related to the rubbish and the litter that has been found, and certainly some of the areas that you've identified here would show that the Tap and Tin in Railway Street is that area in particular. But what about the one in New Road? Is there any evidence of litter as shown here close to those clubs?
Not as far as Coyotes is. I didn't walk along that far, and in addition, I wouldn't expect anyone to be allowed out of the premises with a can or certainly not a bottle. They shouldn't be allowed out, so it shouldn't come from there.
Not necessarily suggesting allowed out, but it's a well-known fact that young people tend to consume alcohol before actually going to these nightclubs.
No, I didn't get along. None of these photographs are taken anywhere close to there.
Well, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. No other questions from us either. So. Yeah, Carl.
Barbara, sorry, it's only a point of clarification for the evidence. You mentioned that the premises is almost next door to the probation office. Can you just clarify for the purpose of the evidence what the significance of that is?
Significance of that is because of the clients that would attend the probation office, which would include some of our street drinking community.
Thank you. Okay. Can I ask you to sum up before I go to you? I'll go to you last for the applicant to sum up, yeah? Rob, would you like to sum up?
So, yes, in summary. So I would obviously ask you to refresh your memories, which I suspect you've already done, concerning the evidence provided within the CIA. And as I have pointed out, this evidence isn't, while I tend to concentrate on the litter, the evidence supporting the CIA consists of alcohol-related crime and antisocial behaviour, domestic abuse, begging. It is in an area of deprivation, high deprivation, alcohol-related hospital admissions, alcohol-related littering, street drinking, and co-located drug use in some areas of public drinking. And this is relevant. I direct you to paragraph 14.28 of the statutory guidance, which says, while the evidence underpinning the publication of the CIA should generally be suitable as the basis for a decision to refuse an application or impose conditions, it does not change the fundamental way that decisions are made under the Act. So it is important that you take into account what the evidence is which supports the CIA. It goes on to say that each decision in an area subject to a CIA therefore needs to be made on a case-by-case basis, which I know that you do, and with a view to what is appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives. Therefore, I believe you need to ask yourself if this applicant has proved that alcohol from this premises will not adversely affect the licensing objectives and add to the list of alcohol-related harms you accepted as evidence to support the CIA. And unfortunately, I don't believe she has. She's not able to say, for example, that a person buying beer from this shop will not walk down to the high street or just round the corner and drink it, leading to antisocial behaviour or any other alcohol-related crime away from the shop. And that is not to say that the applicant isn't a responsible applicant, but due to the amount of alcohol-related issues in this and the wider area, the council has decided that shops selling alcohol in this area need to show they will not add to these issues, and she has not been able to do this. The applicant's agent said that it is easy to identify a street drinker, and I really strongly disagree with that statement. People don't walk around with a sign over their head saying, I am a street drinker. And street drinkers are not always stereotypically dirty and unkempt and drunk. And this is certainly true about people who may engage in domestic abuse, which has been identified as a problem in this area. The issues are current and ongoing, and these are not historical concerns. Therefore, the Director of Public Health believes there are no good reasons given by the applicant to depart from your policy, and it is reasonable to believe that the sale of alcohol from this premises will contribute towards the alcohol-related crime, disorder and public nuisance in this area. And therefore, he asks that you refuse the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. And now over to the applicant and representative to add any, just to close.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, I think on this application, we have one objections, which is from the public health. And actually, I've been reading guidance of role of the public health. I think one of the things they are concerned about the street drinking and people being on the road. And we have addressed through a number of conditions to prevent street drinking in terms of the plan of the premises, and also you heard from the applicant as well. I think obviously they're also concerned about the public health of the people, and public health is greatly impacted because we are not selling miniatures. Even in the picture you will see there's a miniature bottle there. So we are not selling anything less than 35 CL. The minimum we are selling is the high, it's quite expensive, and people have no access to it. So we are promoting the public health in the sense that we are, not selling those beers. And antisocial behavior, I think we talked about that. The data also shows it's not going up. And also, Chair, I think you will, under the guidance, you will have the main source of crime and disorder. You will have the police. So the police haven't objected to these applications, and they are the one deal with high level of crimes and things like that. And also the licensing authorities are one of the main responsible authorities, right? If they have any complaints from the local people or any other issues, they would have had that, and we have no objection from the licensing authority as well. Chair, I think I was looking at the new guidance issued by the revised guidance by the Licensing Act, Section 182. I would like to attention to the 1.18. It says, when making licensing decision, all licensing authorities should consider the need to promote the growth and deliver economic benefits. So what I would like to say, this particular premises is quite different, but in the same time, it is going to add the economic benefits. There's a hotels and there's a residences, new residences going to come up, and and also the restaurant, they are all part of the client. It's being part of the economic benefit it's going to bring. Not only that, Chair, I think when the applicant is going to pay business rate, I think one of the reason, possibly the litter is been there for a long time, probably the public, the local government or the local authority also need money to active. So this particular premises, they're going to pay business rate, they're going to pay VAT, and then all the other services. So they are going to contribute to the economy and also the way of employment as well. I think two people here sitting, they are also live locally, and they are, she's providing employment to other people as well right now. Okay, so it is going to bring some economic benefit. And Chair, I think if you believe, I think one of the questions you are still concerned about the SIP, whether you understand it, but if you believe any other condition that will prevent, I think we are also happy to have a condition the store wouldn't be having, the space-wise, I mean, we wouldn't be having not more than 15% of the floor space is provided for alcohol. And also, we already have on the plan, so only beer fridge is actually a self-serviced. All the other product, having, not able to have like a self-service, the person who will be serving them as well. So this is also make it exceptional, and Chair, I think we heard from the applicant. I think there are a lot of things is, we said is make this application is exceptional. I think we mentioned about the high street and the town center and the immediate area. We don't see any reason, they need to come here, but we can identify the street ringers because we've been walking around and then we looked at those people who are ring on the street. I think it's easy to identify them as well and refuse them. And they have a system in place to, to any of the authorities go down and able to see how these premises are operating in terms of documentation as well, Chair. Thank you.
Just 2 points I just want to clarify there. The first point is, Carl or Helen, I'm right in saying that every application comes through, you won't object. You put it to committee to object, don't we? Because I haven't seen any of that, a full objection, unless there's...
It is strictly true that the licensing authority can object.
But we haven't had that. It comes forward here as
If there was an objection, you would have received it.
I don't want it listed that the licensing authority didn't object because everyone I do doesn't have an objection. The second point I just want to make before I close is that obviously it's your responsibility to know the SIP and to know what that policy does. We know what the SIP is, and it's your responsibility. I just wanted to make that clear about it's the applicant's responsibility, not ours, to do that. Okay. Okay, we are going to make a decision today. Did you want to just add anything? Go on, you can just come in.
Obviously, thank you for your time today. I just wanted to say, of course, it is a SIP area. And I just want to say, our store is grocery-led and alcohol forms a small proportion of the overall offer. We are not targeting high volume or immediate consumption sales. And I would like to be made an example of, that a community-based store can help tackle issues within a SIP area as well. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will be making a decision today, so if I can ask the parties to leave, please, and then we'll call you in shortly. Hopefully won't be too Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for your time, and welcome back in. Sorry it took a little while for us to get the decision. So we've made the decision. This application is made by ARCA Licensing on behalf of Ms. Alexa Sorella for a new premises licence at Best Food Centre, 15 to 19 New Road in Chatham. The application is for sale by retail of alcohol between the hours of 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Monday to Sunday. We have received a representation from Public Health on the 19th of January 2026, which was an objection to the grant of this licence based on two licensing objectives not being upheld: the prevention of crime and disorder and the prevention of public nuisance. There were no other representations from any responsible authority or member of the person. The panel has applied the Licensing Act 2003 and has had regard to the statutory guidance issued under Section 182, the Council's Statement of Licensing Policy, including its Cumulative Impact Assessment, CIA. The statutory guidance is clear that the existence of a cumulative impact assessment is a strong statement of intent, and the Council's CIA states that if an application is submitted for a premises or club within a cumulative impact area and there are relevant representations, there is a presumption of refusal by the authority, unless the application can demonstrate the premises will not adversely affect the licensing objectives. Further, while it is a matter for the applicant what details are included in the operating schedule, where it departs from the relevant cumulative impact assessment outcome, the authority will expect there to be a good reason for the departure if it is being asked to make an exception. This position is not at odds with the amended statutory guidance, and ultimately the panel reminds itself that it must be satisfied that granting the application would not undermine the licensing objectives. The relevance of the CIA is a factor to be considered by the panel within that determination, and in doing so will expect the applicant to demonstrate that an exception should be made in granting their application. The panel has carefully considered all the evidence before, including the written reports, representations and application. This also includes the supplementary information provided, and the panel has also considered all oral representations made today. We have considered this case on its individual merits. The applicant has explained that the intention is to establish a specialist ethnic grocery and food centre, including butchers. She has over 6 years of experience running a licensed retail premises and has good local knowledge. She confirmed that local need has formed her decision to apply and that alcohol would form only 20% of the floor space. The applicant acknowledges in her application the existence of the CIA area and notes that her premises is a few metres away from another off-licence operating at 24 hours. The applicant offered a set of tailored conditions to mitigate the cumulative impact. In our view, the only conditions offered, which were exceptional to the standard conditions we would expect to see, were a prohibition of spirits being sold in bottles less than 35 cl, and a restriction of beers, lagers, stout and ciders in excess of 6%. The hours offered are intended by the applicant to provide mitigation, and it was put to us that this package of conditions would uphold the licensing objectives and allow us to grant this application. We were asked to find that the conditions, the management structure and experience and the community approach are exceptional. We have considered the representations received, which provides information of the local area in support of the community impact. We are asked to apply the CIA policy, and importantly, we have considered the underlying data and harms caused by the cumulative impact in Chatham from alcohol-related crime, disorder and nuisance. We note the submission that the conditions offered do not adequately mitigate the cumulative impact of another licensed premises and do not extend beyond those expected of any well-run premises. We have noted the photographic evidence of nuisance caused by litter and accept that some appears to be old. but it is indicative of the cumulative impact and ancillary consequences of further alcohol sales. We have noted that the alcohol is a combination of various strengths and not just higher percentage alcohol. We note that the location is particularly relevant given the close proximity to the probation office, which caters for offenders, including those suffering from alcohol dependency. We also note that additional security measures are required in Chatham High Street, which is only a short distance from this premises, to mitigate alcohol-related ASB. While we appreciate that this premises is intended to operate as a local convenience offering, and we note the economic benefit and community needs stated, we must be satisfied so as to make an exception in this case. And we are not satisfied that the conditions and circumstances proposed would uphold the licensing objectives. We are not satisfied that the granting of this licence would not add to the community impact of the area, even if the business is well run, community focused and operates the conditions proposed. We also note the clear data behind the CIA, which has not been displaced, and also that the CIA is a strong statement of intent to protect the community from further harm. Therefore, to uphold the licensing objectives in an area which is deeply deprived and subjected to extensive known and secret alcohol-related consequences, we are not satisfied that the applicant has, on the balance of probabilities, satisfied us that the granting of this licence would not undermine the licensing objectives. We are not satisfied that we therefore refuse the application. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. You will receive that letter within 5 days. Thank you very much. Thank you.